Hey, what's going on, hunters? My name is TheBlackLink, and our favorite game, Monster Hunter World, has been out for a little bit over a week, and by now, a lot of you are probably hitting the upper echelons of high rank. Meaning you're taking on some of the game's craziest elder dragons and all of that. And as any veteran hunter will tell you, it really helps to have all of the campsites unlocked for when you get to some of that in-game farming. So, in today's video, we're going to be going over how you can unlock all of the camps for all of the different world spaces in Monster Hunter World. Let's go ahead and get started. As you can imagine, we're going to be starting things off with the Ancient Forest. Now, you have a few camps you'll need to unlock here. Of course, the first one, the Southwest Camp, is unlocked right from the start. You'll get this, and of course, the camp in Area 11 just playing the story. And in order to unlock these extra camps, you'll need to find specific spots on the map, travel to them, and when you've reached them, your handler will set up a supply delivery mission back at Astera. That upon completion will unlock the camp. And alright, for the Ancient Forest, the first one we're going to be heading to is the Northwest Camp in Area 8. There's a mite seed nearby that you can put your scout flies to. So follow the path they take you down, and then when you reach the vine wall, crawl up and head through the tiny crawl space to find the Northwest Camp. This one's easy enough to get to. It's basically just a straight run from the Southwest Camp. And if you get a little confused, no worries, you can just rewind the video and check out where exactly we are on the map. Okay, next up, of course, is the Northeast Camp in Area 11. Now, like I said before, this is one of the camps you'll unlock just by playing the story. So if you're doing story quests, you're going to unlock this camp eventually. There's not really too much to look for there. But the next and final camp for the Ancient Forest can be found in Area 17. This is near the Rathalos nest. A great way to find this place is to put a marker on the dam trap up in the Rath nest and then follow your scout flies there. Once you've reached the nest, simply head over to the other side, walk through the small opening in the trees, and then follow the vine path down. This is the same sort of treetop area where you can find the Grimalkin quest. And when you get here, you're going to want to follow the path that I'm taking here. When you get to the first fork in the road, you're going to want to take a right, then immediately take a left, and then another left at the second fork in the road. From there, you'll find the camp in Area 17. This is a really helpful camp if you're someone who likes to farm Rathalos or Ratheon, since you can just spawn here and head right to the nest when they're going to sleep or to pick up the wyvern egg or anything like that. But alright, the Ancient Forest is done. Let's see what the supply turn-in requires. If you head back to Astera and go to your resource center, you'll notice that you have a couple of deliveries you can now complete for the Ancient Forest. This is where you'll actually unlock the camps utilizing research points and materials. For camp number 1, you'll need 2 iron ore and 1 ancient bone. While for the Ancient Forest Camp 2, this one's going to take a little bit of fighting. It requires 1 Anjanath pelt and 2 Munster Bone Ells. Alright, there we go, that's it for the Ancient Forest Camp. Let's move on to the Wild Spire Waifs. Now, very much like the Ancient Forest, the Wild Spire Waifs have 2 camps that you'll have to find and unlock. The first camp of which, of course, you'll unlock just via the story. It'll be your default camp. And the same goes for the camp in Area 11. You'll find that as part of the story. So, the first camp you'll have to find is the Central Camp in Area 6. You can actually get here by going to the area where Baroth can usually be found. So, make your way to Area 7, and once you've reached the mounting trap zone, follow the path down until you reach the fork in the road with 2 mining spots. Once you're there, take a quick left and then hug the wall. You'll find the next camping spot over on the wall to your left. This one's really easy to get to. It's a pretty big hole in the wall, so you'll probably have a hard time missing it once you reach the spot. Anyways, once you're here, head inside the cave and you'll unlock the delivery to open up this camping spot. Easy peasy. Next up is the camp in Area 11 next to the Ratheon nest. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure when, but I'm pretty sure you get this one as part of the story. I don't recall ever having to do a supply mission to unlock it, so if you just play through the story, you're probably going to get this one done before you know it. But anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the final camp of the Wild Spire Waste. This one can actually be found at the Wild Spire itself in the desert of Area 8. If you pull up the map and look at the desert area where Baroth and Diablos can usually be found, there will be an herb gathering spot near the very back of the desert. Make that your marker and then follow your scout flies there. Once you've reached this spot, you'll see a bunch of ants tunneling into the Wild Spire itself. You should do the same. Hop down this hole, and then once you're on the inside, you'll find the final camping spot for the Wild Spire Waste. Inside the cave, there are several paths you can follow. The direct one right in front of you should take you right to the camping spot, unlocking the supply delivery for this area. So there you go. There are a couple of other benefits to this cave, however, as one of the paths inside will lead you to the Grimalkin home, starting that quest line, And it's even got a secret chute into the Diablo Slayer, so if you're farming that monster, this is a great camping spot to start at, giving you really quick access to that sand trap. Now the deliveries for the Wildspire Waste aren't that bad either. For campsite number 1, you're going to need 2 Vespoid shells and 1 Monster Bone M. This is really easy to get. And of course for Wildspire Waste campsite 2, you're going to need 2 Ratheon shells and 2 Monster Bone L's. But there we go, now that we're done with the waste, let's head on to the Coral Highlands. This one's going to be quick and easy because there's really only one campsite that you'll have to unlock here. And if I recall correctly, finding it but not unlocking it is one of the objectives of the first expedition you take there. But we'll show you where it is on the map anyway, for those of you who haven't completed that quest yet. This camp is going to be located in Area 12, and you'll be able to find it in the spots near the Legiana nest. The first story expedition you take here will generally lead you through this spot, but the camping site itself can be really easy to miss. So once you've hit Area 12, follow the path that I'm taking here and you'll find the camp on the right hand side next to the Wigglers. Once you've moved inside and got the audio prompt, the uncompleted camp symbol will show up on your map, so you'll have an easy time finding it later. But there we go, we're pretty much done with the Coral Highlands. I haven't seen or heard of any other camps popping up there, so as far as I know, this is the only one. And of course to unlock it, you'll need 1 ZT Yaku hide and 2 Monster Bone M's. Next up on our list is the Rotten Vale. This smelly place is going to have 1 extra camp for you to unlock. And much like the Coral Highlands, it's not going to take too long. Alright, so once you've reached the starting camp, open up your map and put a marker near the entrance to Area 11. That's where this camp will be. I found that a good way to do this was to go to the bottom floor of your map and then put a tracking point on one of the gathering spots in between Area 10 and Area 12. Specifically, the herb is pretty good for this. Using this as an anchor, your scout flies should lead you directly to this vine wall in Area 10. Follow the path up, taking the vine spot directly to your left, and that should lead you straight to the campsite at Area 11. This campsite's pretty helpful to have since it gives you a nice starting point that's right nearby to where the Odogaron spawns and where it goes to sleep, giving you a pretty easy way to farm that thing for sweet loot. But alright, that's pretty much the only campsite you can find here in the Rotten Vale, at least that I know of. Let's move on to the final area, the Elder's Recess. This spot is going to have 2 camping sites for you to find. So let's get to locating them. Now of course the southern camp is going to be automatically unlocked once you finish your first expedition there. But you've got 2 other camps that you can find here to make your Elder Dragon farming a little bit easier, especially in the case of Ner Gigante. And we're going to walk you straight there. From the camp, head down the left path into the crystallized area. This will generally be the spot where you can find Dodogama. Once you've made your way inside here, hang a right and then follow the vine path on the wall. At the top of it, you're going to find both a left and a right path. Ignore the right path and just take the second vine wall at the top. And once you're there, you'll find a small crawl space over on the wall on the right hand side. This is where you want to go. Head inside there, and before you know it, you'll have unlocked the first of the hidden camps in the Elder's Recess. So, we are 1 down and quite literally 1 to go. And thankfully, this final spot is just as easy to reach, and it's actually a super helpful spot for you hunters to be setting up a campsite. Let's go ahead and get there. Alright, so if you open up your map and you take a look over at Area 16, you'll find where this final camp spot should be going. There's a Might Seed located right next to it. So you can mark that as your Scoutfly's target and get a pretty direct path leading you straight there. This path will take you ultimately to the room where you can generally find Ner Gigante. And once you're there, hug the wall on the left hand side, and before you know it, you'll find a little crack in the wall that you can just fit through. Head inside and this will unlock your final camp for the Elder's Recess. This is probably the most helpful campsite in this map, since it gives you a really great spawn point that's right outside of the room where Ner Gigante generally spawns and really close to the area where it goes to sleep. So if you're farming that monster for his armor set or for his weapons or whatnot, this is definitely the campsite you want to unlock. And this is of course where you can find it. Alright, once you've found this spot, it's time to head back and unlock it. For the Elder's Recess Campsite 1, you need 2 Barnos Hide pluses and 1 Monster Bone plus. And it shouldn't be too hard to farm those up. Barnos are literally everywhere in high rank. And for the second campsite, you're going to need 1 Dodogama Hide plus and 2 Wingdrake Hides. But alright, there we go, hunters. That is where you can find all of the campsites in all of the different world spaces in Monster Hunter World. Unlocking these is going to make your farming trips so much easier. So if you haven't yet, that's where you can find them. Get to unlocking them. But as for me, I'm out for now. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest videos and live streams. Me, I gotta get back to farming. So as always, I am TheBlackLink. You hunters, stay frosty.